start in the absence of William Saliba, who's been fairly solid, Rob Holding, although he did concede that penalty that Mohamed Salah missed against Liverpool last Sunday. But overall, he's been solid for Arsenal as it's played to Bukayo Saka now, back to Odegaard, who looks for Ben White on the overlap, but it's defended not well enough in the end by Cliccare. And Ben White comes out with it, plays it to Odegaard. Ben White back on the ball for Arsenal, being charged down by 2 West Ham players, and it will be a foul against or on Ben White from Lucas Paqueta. Lucas Paqueta coming back into the side after missing the Fulham game through injury. He is a key player for West Ham after his big money move from Lyon. And it will be a free kick that's going to be taken by the skipper, Martin Odegaard. And it's actually going to be Grant Xhaka who takes it short to Odegaard. Odegaard looks to cross it. There's numbers in there and it has come back out to Gabriel Martinelli. Tierney's on the overlap. Martinelli looks to cross it in and it's a header that goes wide. It's a poor header in the end from Gabriel, who's already got 3 goals this season in the Premier League. And he will be disappointed with that, the Brazilian, as it was a brilliant ball in from Gabriel Martinelli, who ignored the overlap of Tierney, and Gabriel just couldn't get a good enough connection on the header, and it's gone out harmlessly for a goal kick to West Ham. And it's Thomas Souček now, or Declan Rice, plays it to Thomas Souček. Kufal looks for Antonio, who's going to have to do a lot of hard work there up on his own. But we know what he is capable of. He's scored 118 goals and got 83 assists, Antonio, from an array of positions, which is a fairly good return for him. And he is on the ball now on the right-hand side. He looks to whip it in. It's just too far beyond Lucas Paqueta, but it's come out to Creswell. He's played it back to Ben Rama, who can shoot, appeals for handball. Referee does not give anything, and Arsenal can now break. Xhaka now on the ball. Looks to take on his man. Xhaka gets caught on the ball, but it is a free kick, and David Moyes is not best pleased with that decision. David Moyes has only picked up 1 point out of a possible 18 as West Ham manager against Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. And the appeal for handball there was on Rob Holding, but he did have his hands fairly close to him. So nothing was given there. Back to Gabriel now on the ball. I hope everyone is doing well. We are pushing for 200,000 subscribers, so if you can keep subscribing, we're getting ever so close. And if you can hit the like as well, that would be muchly appreciated. As we have multiple games coming up, as ever, on Sammy SK Football. Gabriel now, just on the halfway line, looking for an option. Plays it to Gabriel Martinelli, who flicks it neatly to Tierney. And it's a good tackle and interception from Kufal, who is making his 100th appearance for West Ham. And has been a very shrewd signing from the Hammers. Signed for a measly £5 million from Slavia Prague in 2020. But here's Bukayo Saka now, plays it to Thomas Partey, back to Odegaard, who's got a little bit of space, plays a cute ball to Ben White, and it's drilled across to Gabriel Jesus! And it didn't take long for Arsenal's number 9 to get the scoring underway at the London Stadium. And it's Arsenal again, it's that man again, Gabriel Jesus. That's 4 goals now in 3 games since coming back from injury. And that is the perfect start for Arsenal and Arsenal fans. Just before the 7-minute mark, it was really good play as it came to Saka to start off with on the right-hand side. And he faced up Aaron Creswell, as he likes to do. And it was Ben White who played it back to Saka. And Saka played it to Partey, who then played it to Odegaard. And it was a really good pass. And he loves to do, he's so good at doing that, Odegaard. Played it to Ben White, who drilled it in. And Gabriel Jesus had an easy tap in for his 9th goal of the season. And it's Ben White again with a goal contribution. He's on fire at the moment from right back. Really impressive. And it's 1-0 to Arsenal, and their lead at the top is restored to 6 points. And they just keep revving that engine. Perfect start for Arsenal as they come away with the ball again, winning the ball back. And it's Gabriel Jesus again. What a timely return it has been for him. As the going has got tough in terms of the games for Arsenal. They've got their players back. They just need Saliba to come back now and they'll be fully fit once again. And Gabriel Martinelli has pulled up a little bit. Looks like he's done something to his knee. Hopefully for Arsenal fans he will be fine because he is the club's top goal scorer with 14 goals. And he has scored 7 in the last 9. He's on red hot form, as are the whole Arsenal squad. Let's be fair. And Arsenal are the only team to have not lost this season every time they've scored the opening goal. They've won 18 and drawn 3, so it's going to be very difficult for West Ham. And that was the last thing them and David Moyes wanted, was to concede an early goal to a team that excels in keeping their lead and not losing it. Although they did lose their 2-0 lead against Liverpool to only draw 2-2, as Odegaard plays it to Saka, who then plays it to Jesus. There's a bit of space here for Arsenal's forwards. Jesus looks to spread it out wide over to the left-hand side to Gabriel Martinelli, and it's done brilliantly there. Martinelli looks for the outside of the foot cross. It comes out to Kieran Tierney, who did weigh up the shot, but plays it to Martinelli on this left-hand side. Whips it in. It's a brilliant ball, and it's 2! Martin Odegaard gets it. And this is brilliant stuff from Arsenal. Absolutely superb. We're not even 10 minutes in, and Arsenal have already taken a 2-goal cushion in this game. And goal difference might be a factor, you know, as Man City cruised past Leicester winning 3-1. And Arsenal, if they can put a good score up today, that would do wonders, potentially, for their goal difference. And it's an assist for Gabriel Martinelli. It's a brilliant cross. Although, I think you have to question the marking from the West Ham defenders. Odegaard, absolutely no one picking him up. And that is not very good. That's not a good idea. As that is Martin Odegaard's 11th goal of the season. And it's 2-0. It's a cushioned volley from Odegaard. Fabianski, no chance. And Arsenal keep going. They keep responding to Manchester City's excellent displays. And they just keep going. They want this league title. And they're doing everything they can to get it. Thomas Partey now. Gabriel. On to Rob Holding. Plays it back to Gabriel on the ball. It's the perfect start for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. 2-0 up inside 12 minutes, courtesy of a Martin Odegaard goal and a Gabriel Jesus goal. Very impressive so far, as it's a through ball attempted to be played to Jesus through the heart of the West Ham defence, but Kurt Zouma is able to intercept, and West Ham do win a free kick for their troubles. And West Ham themselves do need to be careful of their goal difference, as that can come into play down the bottom of the league as well. And as we look at the goal difference as it stands between Arsenal and Manchester City, Arsenal have plus 45 goal difference, and Manchester City have plus 50. So there is a bit of a gap. Arsenal need to well, they need to see if they can close that gap, as Man City do have a game in hand as well. But you do sense that Manchester City are always going to be ahead in that aspect. But Arsenal, they're doing all they can, and it's really impressive. As Rob Holding does pull up with a slight knock. Don't look at United's goal difference. Well, I've just looked at it, but I won't say it if it's gonna upset you, mate. I won't. Don't worry. Right, it's cleared only as far as Aaron Creswell, and it will be a throw-in to Arsenal. Everyone, if you can smash a like on this live stream, we've got 1,000 people watching. Thank you ever so much for all of your support. If you can smash that like button, we've already seen 2 goals in this game. It's been a breathless start. It's been an electric start from the Gunners, and they are in red hot form as Odegaard plays it to Martinelli. It's a brilliant dummy to Tierney on the left hand side. Kieran Tierney tried to play it back to Odegaard, but it was intercepted by Jared Bowen, who looked to play it forward, and it goes out for a throw into West Ham. And it will be in the possession of Kurt Zouma. And it was an attempted ball over the top for Mikel Antonio, but it's well defended in the end by Rob Holding. And it will be a throw-in to be taken by Vladimir Kufal, and it looks like it will be a long throw into that Arsenal box. It's a long throw, aiming for Souček. It's flicked on and into Ramsdale's hands comfortably in the end. This is West Ham's 250th London derby in the Premier League. But their 117 defeats and 388 goals conceded in derby matches are both competition records. So it's not good reading for for West Ham, as Thomas Partey glides past Paqueta. Saka now plays it back to Odegaard. Odegaard to Thomas Partey. Really important that he, as well as other Arsenal players, stay fit in this running, as they are going to be so crucial. And Arsenal's squad is not as strong in terms of depth as Manchester City, so they will need luck to go their way in terms of avoiding any injuries. And I think they deserve that bit of luck, Arsenal, considering they have had Thomas Partey and Jesus out for some time in the season, as Jesus faces up Kufal, who does well the number 5 to win the ball back, and it's now Jared Bowen looking to clear it. Antonio coming deep to collect the ball, but it's won back, and Kieran Tierney heads it back to Gabriel. And it already looks like it's going to be a procession for West Ham, as Martinelli picks up the ball now. And Granit Xhaka does go down, but Arsenal do retain possession. Martin Odegaard now with his 11th goal of the season to get Arsenal 2-0 up. And it is picked back up by Arsenal and Benrahma. And Benrahma does end up fouling Ben White. And it's now Martin Odegaard who will take the free kick and play it to Kieran Tierney. Back to Thomas Partey. West Ham just need to weather the storm, as Arsenal will be looking to kill the game off in the first half. That's for sure. And if we are looking at West Ham's goal difference, they are on -14, which is not bad for a relegation battling team. But they do need to make sure this game doesn't get out of hand and drain the confidence of the players. Jesus now plays it to Thomas Partey. Plays it out wide to Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka hasn't scored in 2 games, which is a long time for him. Thomas Partey now plays it to Kieran Tierney, the replacement of Zinchenko. Xhaka in the advanced position, as he likes to be, plays it back to Martinelli, who plays it to Kieran Tierney. Back to Tierney now. Arsenal can just control the game. And it was such a fast start from Arsenal. And they've almost killed the game off instantly. As someone was saying in the chat, as Chris said, the game has almost been killed off by Arsenal in the first 10 minutes. 2 goals. It's the perfect start for them. And they've just got to look to keep going, Arsenal, and keep pumping the goals in as Granit Xhaka charges forward. Plays it to Martinelli on the left-hand side. Tierney plays it looking for Odegaard, and it's intercepted well by Thilo Kehrer, but there is only Antonio up there, but he does really well to get past Rob Holding. He's on the left-hand side now, Antonio. Antonio looks to take on Rob Holding and does so very well, but it is good defending by Rob Holding, although I think actually he's conceded a free kick on just on the edge of the box, I believe. Or is that gone out for a corner kick? Let's have a look again. I mean, it's not a good challenge, actually. He misses the ball, and I think it was just outside the box. Luckily for Rob Holding. And it will be... We're just waiting to see if it's a corner or a free kick to West Ham. It will be a free kick. So there is an opportunity here for West Ham to use their height advantage as Aaron Cresswell and Declan Rice are lining up over the ball on the left-hand side, very close to, fairly close to the corner flag, but just outside the box, and it's going to be drilled in by Declan Rice, and it's a comfortable clearance really in the end by, I think it was Odegaard, and it's whipped back in, aiming for Zuma, and it's headed away well, and Jesus can collect the ball, and he does really well at that, Jesus. It's brilliant turn from Jesus there to evade Jared Bowen, and Jesus, he's so good at just holding the ball up, taking the sting out of an attack or a phase. It's really impressive from him, and he's going from strength to strength, Gabriel Jesus. And he's been a big plus for Arsenal coming back from injury. Eddie Nketiah did do well in his absence, but Gabriel Jesus is definitely, at the moment anyway, a level above the England international. Rob Holding now plays it back to Aaron Ramsdale, who will be looking to keep another clean sheet, and will make his 13th clean sheet in the Premier League, which will be the joint most, joint with Nick Pope of Newcastle. Ben White now on the ball with that assist for Jesus, and it was an attempted ball from Martin Odegaard over to Jesus, but there was just too much on the ball. And it's picked up now by Bukayo Saka, who looks to take on his men and does lose out in the end, but he was crowded by numerous West Ham players, and it's fizzed into Jared Bowen from Declan Rice, who takes it down well, Bowen, in the centre of the park, and it's ended up back in West Ham's box as Zuma looks to play it into Paqueta, who then plays it back to Fabianski, who will then clear it, but Ben White takes it under his spell very comfortably, and it's back to Ben White now, linking up with Bukayo Saka really well. Thomas Partey now. Thomas Partey faked for the shot, and Odegaard flicks it on to Saka, and it's defended in the end by West Ham, but that was another warning sign from Arsenal as Bowen tried to get away there, but it was he's gone down and thinks it was a foul by an Arsenal player. Just holding his foot there, Jared Bowen. I'm not sure if he was stepped on at all. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's just Thomas Partey just stepped on Jared Bowen, completely accidental, but that could be a sore one for West Ham's number 20. Jared Bowen, he's been at West Ham for 3 years now, and he has been a success despite having a poor season for his standards. And he did score 12 goals and got 12 assists in the Premier League last season, so he's definitely below his high standards this season, but he will be hoping to have a good end for West Ham, because they will need their top players, West Ham, to get out of this relegation battle. But it's now Martinelli who flicks it on brilliantly to Jesus, who uses his body well. Martinelli comes out with the ball, glides past Soufal. Martinelli looks to play it on the edge to Martin Odegaard, who takes a touch and shoots, and it's blocked, and then it comes off Jesus, who was in an offside position. But it's another ominous sign from Arsenal. And they are flourishing, Arsenal, at the moment. Mikel Arteta will be very pleased with this performance so far from Arsenal. And Arsenal, they're going on another brilliant run in the Premier League. They had that little dip around the winter time, but they have gone on another one of those runs, Arsenal. It's 9 games that they have not lost, and they haven't lost since that 3-1 defeat against Manchester City. And we all know that will be a huge game at the Etihad, and it's going to be the game of the season. It will be the game of the season, definitely, in terms of the top of the table, at least. As Gabriel will play it to Rob Holding. 25 minutes gone already in this first half. It's flown by. Thomas Partey now plays it back to Rob Holding. And Aaron Ramsdale will take his time on the ball, and he plays a nice ball over to Ben White, who is in an advanced position and does win a throw-in to Arsenal. Jesus has come deep and plays it to Rob Holding, who plays it back to Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey to Gabriel. Martinelli now, looking lively as ever. Arsenal are looking really sharp in this game, that's for sure. As Jesus plays it out wide to Ben White. Back to Jesus. Partey. Arsenal just passing around West Ham at the moment. West Ham can't get a look in. As Rob Holding comes out with the ball, who plays it to Martin Odegaard, who has a little bit of space to assess his options. Jesus now. About 30 yards out. Jesus looks to play it over to Ben White, but there's just too much on the pass from Jesus. And if anyone's just joining, Arsenal got 2 quick goals in the first 10 minutes, thanks to goals from Gabriel Jesus and Martin Odegaard. The first goal from Jesus, it was a really good bit of play that ended up with Ben White drilling it across for Jesus to have a tap in, and the second goal came from a lovely cross from Martinelli to Odegaard's foot, who volleyed it in past Lucas Fabianski. And it's been all Arsenal so far, and you think that they might get more as the game goes on. If everyone can look to smash a like on the live stream, it does go a long way, and it does help the channel out massively. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. We are closing in on 200,000 subscribers, and it would be fantastic if you could do that. Let me know in the chat, how did everyone's teams get on this weekend then, if they have played? How did they all get on? Is it a good Sunday? Is it a happy Sunday, or is it a depressing Sunday? Yeah, I agree with you, Nitrogen. I think I've always wanted... Well, I just don't want Man City to dominate the league. And Arsenal winning would be fantastic. Like, I feel like I'm pretty much an Arsenal fan at the moment. Yeah, United are playing at 4:30 against Nottingham Forest today. So that's a bigger game for Forest. And I personally think, because I don't know what you think, guys, but Nottingham Forest, they only picked up 1 point out of 6 against the teams in and around them in the last 2 games. So I feel like that makes this game almost a must-win for me, because you look at their fixtures, they've got to take advantage of their home games. And Man United, they've got quite a few key players missing. So I think Forest really need... I don't think draws are enough anymore for Forest, you know? Like, if they got a win in their last 2 games against, the teams in and around them, then maybe a draw would be good, but they need a win. They really do need a win. Otherwise, it's worrying times for them. Yeah, we have got some Arsenal fans in the chat who are watching right now, and who must be very pleased with what they're seeing. And this is for everyone as well, but at half-time we will be doing... I don't know if we can get a voting system going on, but I'll be asking for who you think Arsenal's player of the season is, because there's a lot of candidates. Arsenal have had a lot of players that have just flourished this season, and I think they're going to have like 4 players that will have got over 20 goal contributions, and that just sums it up really. And that's just the attacking players. So we're going to do that at halftime. So stick around for the halftime break. And Kate Broom's a Man City fan. Oh, well, nothing against you, but I don't want them to win the league for the 4th time in 5 years. But I'm assuming that you were pleased with their win against Leicester. It looked like it was going to be a cricket score at the start of the game, but they obviously did rest their players. And they're looking very ominous in the Champions League, I must say. Saka hasn't had a shot on target in the first half. No, City, no, he hasn't. It's probably is that one of your bets? For him to have a shot on target. I'll look out for it to see if he does. Ben White now on this right-hand side. Ben White plays it to Bukayo Saka, who looks to whip it in, and it's cleared by Kurt Zouma. West Ham really need to try and... They need the next goal. I know it's an obvious thing to say, but they do. They need the next goal, and it's played into Antonio now, who takes on Gabriel. Antonio looks to power past Gabriel, but Gabriel does do well in the end. Gabriel, a player that has played every game and every minute for Arsenal in the Premier League this season. And it's one back here in a dangerous area, and it's going to be a penalty to West Ham. A turn of events at the London Stadium. And it's a little bit of a lack of concentration, a bit of complacency from Arsenal. As you perhaps would expect, it was Partey who looked to just flick the ball past Declan Rice, who won it back to Paqueta, who was in the 6-yard area, or 8 yards out. And it's such a stupid challenge from Gabriel. He's just gone diving in an attempt to win the ball. He tries to lunge out of the way before he makes contact, but he makes contact all right, and it's a stonewall penalty. You will not see a clearer penalty than that this season. And West Ham United have a chance to close Arsenal's lead back to 1 and give themselves a fighting chance again. Arteta will be very disappointed with his number 6, Gabriel. He'll be really disappointed with that. And so will Gabriel. And I don't know if anyone plays FPL, but I'd love it if Ramsdale saved this penalty. Because he's in I just brought him in. So we'll have to see. And if anyone does play Fantasy Premier League, let me know how your teams have done this weekend. Who are you? What players are you looking to get some returns? And it will be side Benrahma who will step up for West Ham United. He's got 4 league goals this season. He's got a chance to make it 5. Up he steps, and it's a brilliant penalty from Benrahma. It's 2-1 at the London Stadium. West Ham have a goal back. And it's a really good finish from Benrahma. Just tucks it into the bottom right-hand corner, the opposite way that Ramsdale has dived. And Arsenal have to be careful. They came flying out of the traps. They started brilliantly. But West Ham have a goal back. And the momentum has turned. That's for sure. And that is the first away goal that Arsenal have conceded in London derbies this season. So, but that just shows how brilliant they have been. The fact that it's taken this long, for them to concede. But it's really poor from Gabriel. It's really poor. Arsenal will need to look to just get back to the way they were playing in the first 20 minutes. But West Ham's tails will definitely be up. And it will be a throw into Arsenal on this left-hand side. Taken by Kieran Tierney. Back to Tierney on the ball for Arsenal. And it is won back by Benrahma. Benrahma running forward now. Partey looking to win the ball back after he lost it, but it is a free kick to West Ham and a yellow card for the Ghanaian. Thomas Partey takes down Benrahma, and it was him who was involved in losing the ball for Arsenal, and he just didn't really win the ball. He just looked to shrug Benrahma off the ball, and it was a foul given. And it will be another opportunity for West Ham to get a good delivery into the box, as Vladimir Kufal will potentially step over this ball and look to cross it. West Ham do have a lot of height in there with the likes of Zuma, Souček, Kerr. It's crossed in, and it's tipped over by Ramsdale. It was Antonio who got the header, headed it down, it bounced back up, and Ramsdale, it was a comfortable save in the end. I think Antonio would have just been offside, but it will be a corner to West Ham because the linesman didn't give it, and it was a save by Aaron Ramsdale, and it will be a corner to West Ham. It was all looking so good for Arsenal, but how a game can change. Creswell whips it in. It's a good ball. Souček attacks it, and you just can't get the connection on the ball there, and it's gone out for another corner kick for West Ham. And it was decent defending in the end by Gabriel. And it is another corner. It will be taken by Aaron Creswell again, who whips it in, and Ramsdale can't punch it away. It was a bit scruffy, that, from Ramsdale. Couldn't get a connection on it to punch it. West Ham keep the ball. Creswell whips it in again. It's headed away by Ben White. They're having a good spell here, West Ham. Kufal plays a really good pass over to Benrahma, but Saka does well and wins a throw-in for Arsenal, as they can look to just calm things down now. As I think Arteta's looking for Arsenal just to keep the ball a bit more and just play it on the floor and get those sequences going again. I think that's what his hand gestures are suggesting. But what a fantastic first half this has been at the London Stadium. Absolutely fantastic first half. Declan Rice now on the ball. On to Kurt Zuma. Back to Fabianski, who turns 38 on Tuesday and is still going strong. The Polish international. And it's cleared up to Antonio, who wins his header. Xhaka does win his header, but it doesn't go cleanly to an Arsenal player, and it's cleared by Gabriel in the end, who seems a bit rattled, Gabriel, after that mistake leading to the penalty, or conceding the penalty. Kufal now with the throw-in on this right-hand side for West Ham. It's another long throw, aiming for those tall West Ham players in the box. Rice plays it to Paqueta, who dinks it into the box. It's headed away. Paqueta on the volley! Does go wide in the end. Out for a goal kick to Arsenal. $147 likes so far. That's brilliant. Keep it up. Can we get to, let's try and get to 150. 150. That's only 3 more likes. That's 3 more fingers, that. So, or thumbs, if you like it with your thumb. Anyway, Jesus now plays it to, or tries to play it to Ben White. Does pick up possession for Arsenal. Arsenal just need to get back under control a little bit in the game. Ramsdale plays it to Odegaard, who flicks it up forward to Thomas Partey. Onto Jesus now. Jesus holds it up really well, battling against Kurt Zuma. Declan Rice. Not Declan Rice. Declan Rice weighing up his opponent in Ben White, and it's come to Saka on this left-hand side. The cross does evade the Arsenal players, though, and it is Bowen now who comes out with it, and Martinelli does do well to win the ball back and win a throw-in for Arsenal. Oh, we've got 161 likes now. That's brilliant. That's cracking, that. Thank you very much, everyone, for hitting that like button. Yeah, you are right there, Corey. West Ham are growing into the game, and Liverpool were obviously 2-0 down, like West Ham. So that is something to bear in mind, actually. And Arsenal players may be thinking, or maybe remembering the Liverpool game and thinking, oh, let's make sure this doesn't happen again. And we are approaching the 45th minute. And we are approaching half-time very shortly, where I will be getting everyone in the chats. Arsenal Player of the Season. There are a lot of candidates, so get thinking who you think should have it. Thank you, H Sway, for the comment. Thank you very much, mate. Yep, Arsenal have taken their feet off the pedal. They definitely have. I mean, when they were so dominant, it's almost natural to be, to let your foot off the gas a little bit because you just think it's going to be a comfortable day. But the Premier League is not that straightforward all the time. Thomas Partey now. Can Arsenal burst West Ham's bubble just before half-time? As Kieran Tierney looks to take on Kufal. Does well, whips it in, and it's cleared by Kurt Zouma. And it will be a throw-in to to Arsenal, on this left-hand side. Kieran Tierney now. Look to whip it in, but Antonio is there working hard there at the back, and he keeps the ball, but then does lose it. But it is going to be a free kick. Excuse me. It will be a free kick. Antonio did really well there. Player of the season should be the whole squad. Yeah, I mean, you've got a point because Arsenal have been, every player for Arsenal has played their part and they've been excellent. That is true. But we need, if you have to pick one player, just get thinking. That's good link-up play, but I think it came to Cresswell, but he looked miles offside, but the linesman didn't put his flag up. It didn't come to anything in the end, but that was very odd. Very odd. And he was miles offside. It was a ball played from Paqueta to Cresswell. And it's so bizarre how the linesman has not just put his flag up straight away. And Cresswell's actually gone down with an injury to his face. I'm not sure. I think he should be fine. But it's just one of those examples. One day someone will get injured because the referee, the assistant, hasn't put the flag up when it's an obvious offside. That will happen. That will happen at some point. It will. And that's I would have spotted that as offside. I think we all would have. Like it was a good couple of feet offside. But we have approached the 45th minute. We are waiting to see how many minutes will be added on. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in and are clicking the like button. Keep clicking it. If we can get to 200 likes, that would be, it's ambitious. It's ambitious, but I believe we can do it. And it will be 3 minutes of additional time in this second half of what's been a brilliant first half, It's been a brilliant first half. 3 goals, 2 for Arsenal, 1 for West Ham. But there could be more action as it will be a corner for West Ham. It's conceded by Kieran Tierney. Arsenal need to make sure that they don't let anything go in at this stage of the half. As Jared Bowen lines up to take the corner, whips it in. It's a testing ball, and it's just prodded wide. The West Ham players are convinced it's another corner, but it does go out for a goal kick. Let's just have a look at the replay again. And it was poked by Kurt Zouma, and it looks like it was a goal kick, but I'm not sure. It's difficult from what we've seen, but it has gone out for a goal kick. Ramsdale now with the clearance. Yeah, if everyone can subscribe if you haven't already, and also become a member if you'd like, that would be very much appreciated. As Arsenal is, as Arteta is writing down some notes for half-time. He will have some words for his players, as he'll be disappointed with the last 25-30 minutes, as they have allowed West Ham back into the game. Jesus now picks up the ball. Saka, Arsenal with potentially one last attack. Saka onto White. Back to Saka. It's a good tackle by Declan Rice. And Antonio can run away with it, being charged down by Jesus. And it's going to be a yellow card for, I believe it might be Gabriel Jesus, who did look to just hack away at Antonio's ankles there, I think, just to stop the counter-attack. And it is a yellow card for Gabriel Jesus. And it will be one last chance for West Ham to get the ball into the box. Aaron Creswell. And it's actually played short to Jared Bowen, and that was very silly from West Ham because they haven't had a chance to put it into the box. And that is the half-time whistle at the London Stadium. There's been 3 goals. There were 2 in the first half. Brilliant play, brilliantly constructed by Arsenal. The first going to Gabriel Jesus, the second to Martin Odegaard. But West Ham did bounce back, and they fought back to get a goal back before half-time. And that was thanks to a Benrahma penalty, courtesy of Gabriel, with a really poor challenge. And it's all to play for in this second half. Stick around. And at half-time, it's West Ham 1, Arsenal 2. Okie dokie. Well, if you all want to stick around, because we're going to be... I'm not sure if someone can do a poll or not, but it's time for you to have your say and vote for Arsenal's player of the season. So I'll give you a couple of names. So, well, not more than a couple, because there's been a lot of good performers. When I was writing these down, I thought there's a lot of players here, but they are in contention, I think. So you've got Aaron Ramsdale, the goalkeeper. You know, he's second most clean sheets in the league this season. And you've got Saliba as well, who's been else has held the ball to wait for everyone to, you know, to leave the scene, and it has been the case. It's been passed over to Bukayo Saka, who will take the penalty to give Arsenal the chance to restore their 2-goal lead. Bukayo Saka has scored 5 of his last 6 penalties. Up he steps against Fabianski. Bukayo Saka! So he's put it wide! Bukayo Saka misses the penalty and puts it wide. He was looking for that top left-hand corner and it just goes wide. We'll have a look again. Oh, it's a poor penalty. Fabianski guessed the right way, but it was a poor penalty. But the Arsenal players quickly, in support of Bukayo Saka, just, you know, encouraging him to just put his head back up. There's still a game to go on, but you could say that's slightly deserved for West Ham in terms of that little bit of luck, because West Ham, they didn't really deserve to concede that goal. And Antonio's smiling now, he'll be relieved with that. But Bukayo Saka will be very disappointed with that. And it remains 2-1. What a game this has been. So much drama. So much drama already. But it remains 2-1. As Tierney will throw this, looking for Jesus. And Gabriel. It's a bit of head tennis at the moment. Tierney. Jesus looking for a foul, but nothing's given, and it will be a throw into West Ham. And Jesus is still down. It looks like he'll be okay. Just putting his boot back on. I'm not sure what happened. Let's have a look. It was Kufal just stepped on Jesus's the back of his heel, which ended up in his boot coming off, but he is fine. He'll be able to continue. And it will be another long throw from Kufal. Comes back out to cliccare, who looks to play it back in, and it's a good ball to Jarrod Bowen! It's Toto! No flag! We'll have to see if he was offside or not. But it looked okay. 2-2, Arsenal let a 2-goal lead slip again. This time at the hands of West Ham. As they had the chance, Arsenal, to go 3-1 up from the penalty spot. But instead, it's 2-2 at the London Stadium. Game on! Big blow for Arsenal. We'll have to see if it's onside or not. But it was cleared back away, and it's well onside. It is well onside. And it's Jarrod Bowen who gets enough of a connection on it to beat Aaron Ramsdale. And it's 2-2. Big development in the title race. Ramsdale maybe should be doing better there at his near post. He just pushes it onto the post. And David Moyes is delighted. Arteta not so much. And it's 2-2. Arsenal need to respond. They've done it before. As Martin Odegaard plays it out wide to Gabriel Martinelli now. Back to Xhaka. Martinelli. On this right-hand side, Martinelli looks to shoot, and it's comfortably claimed by Fabianski. What a start to the half. Both halves have had brilliant starts. And what a next 35 minutes we could be in for. As Bowen's gone down. And it was just as he went to check back and close Martinelli's shot down, he just slips. And let's hope he hasn't pulled anything there. What have Arsenal got? Can they respond? They've got more time than they had against Liverpool when it became 2-2. But at the same time, West Ham, their tails are up. They're not holding back. And they will be trying to get that third goal. And Arsenal fans in the chat, what are you thinking right now? Big moments here in the title race as we enter the final stages of it. And it's a drilled ball from Bowen and it does evade everyone. And we are approaching the hour mark. And I guess you could say a strength of Arsenal's is they do have strength off the bench. You know, they've got a player like Leandro Trossard is a fantastic player to be able to bring on and change a game. So they do have that. I think Arsenal fans, you shouldn't get too worried yet. There's a lot of time. I think Arsenal just need to let West Ham's, you know, they've got to let West Ham's phase end without another goal, and they've just got to pick themselves back up. And they've done it before. Arsenal, they've been able to overcome adversity many times in this season. As Ben White will take the throw in for Arsenal. And don't forget, Arsenal have not lost a Premier League game this season when they've gone ahead. Gabriel heads it only as far as Bowen, but it is hooked away by Kieran Tierney. Paqueta now with the ball for West Ham. Back to Paqueta from Souček. Paqueta looking for Antonio, but it's cleared away. Only as far as Kurt Zouma though. Kufal. And it's a poor pass in the end from Zouma. And Tierney clears. But West Ham, definitely the team in control at the moment. As Fabianski clears. Rob Holding wins the header, but Paqueta looked to find Antonio with his head. But there wasn't enough direction on the header. Gabriel now. Plays it back to Kieran Tierney. Holding. Holding to Gabriel. Jesus loses out there. He'll be disappointed with that. He was muscled off the ball by Kufal there, and West Ham do have the ball now. Jared Bowen on the ball. He's got his confidence now after that goal. But Thomas Partey does retrieve the ball for Arsenal. But West Ham are controlling the game at the moment. Arsenal don't seem to be able to keep the ball for a long period. They've got to look to get control back into the game, Arsenal. The treble is still on for Manchester City. And yeah, I don't know if we can do a poll or not, but do you think Manchester City, or how many trophies do you think Manchester City will win this season? 1, 2 or 3? Rob Holding now plays it to Thomas Partey. Odegaard now. Arsenal with a bit of the ball, but it's a poor pass. and it's miscommunication between Odegaard and Ben White. Arsenal, they need to dust themselves off a little bit, and they need to regain that mentality, and they need to regain that confidence and composure on the ball as Leandro Trossard is warming up. Kieran Tierney now. Thomas Partey looks for Jesus, but it's headed away in the end. Kufal clears, and Gabriel can deal with it. He's been pressured by Jared Bowen. Looks to just shield him off, but Bowen does well to pressure him, and it will be a throw-in for Arsenal. We've got 1,300 people watching. Thank you very much for your support. It's a cracking game. Cracking game so far. We had 3 goals in the first half, and we've had a goal from West Ham in the second. Arsenal need to respond. And it will be another long throw taken by Kufal for West Ham. They haven't really had joy directly from a long throw as of yet. And it's flicked on, and it will be a goal kick for Arsenal. Gareth has a feeling the Gunners will nick this one. Yeah, I mean, 3-2. You heard it here first. Jay thinks 3-2 as well. Yeah, I mean, I just don't think you can't go against Arsenal. I feel like they've built up enough credit this season, as Arsenal are a bit untidy in possession there, and they do lose out, but it does come back to Aaron Ramsdale from an overhit Lucas Paqueta pass, and it's a great throw by Aaron Ramsdale. Bit of space now. Granit Xhaka on the ball for Arsenal. Xhaka on this right hand side plays it to Bukayo Saka. What can he do? Plays it back to Thomas Partey. Onto Tierney. Martinelli toying with Kufal. Back to Tierney. Partey. Xhaka back to Partey. Jesus looks to turn, plays a nice ball out to Tierney, who drills it in! Just goes beyond Jesus, it's come to Saka. Saka looks to whip it in! It's a brilliant header by Jared Bowen of all people. That's better from Arsenal. It was dangerous. It was a ball in from Ben White to Jesus, who used his body really well to play it out to Tierney, who looked to return the favour, Kieran Tierney, and drilled it back in towards Jesus, but he just missed it. And then Saka looked to cross it in, and it was a really good defensive header from Jared Bowen, and it will be a corner to Arsenal. Gabriel Martinelli whips it in, and it's headed away by that tall West Ham defence. And the break is on. Antonio with Kere running forward as part of the attack. Antonio still with it. Antonio ends up in the corner and wins a throw-in to West Ham. And the substitutions are warming up. It will be Jorginho and Leandro Trossard. And they're good subs to bring on, in my opinion. I think Jorginho is good at controlling the game, and Arsenal need some control back. And this is where some January signings could really help Arsenal in their pursuit for the Premier League title. But we will have to wait and see. Jorginho's already been part of some heroics in Arsenal's comeback against Aston Villa, and it is Gabriel Jesus and Thomas Partey who both make way, both on yellow cards. Gabriel Jesus still obviously, probably his fitness is probably being managed still after coming back from that long-term knee injury. Can Arsenal's substitutes make an impact for the Gunners? And as I've said, Arsenal really do need to capitalise on the 2 games they have before Manchester City play, including this one. So the extra game they have, they've got to make the most of these 2. They've got West Ham here, and then they go to Southampton. Well, they don't go to Southampton, they have Southampton at home. And they really need to be getting 6 points if they can, because then it just puts the pressure on Manchester City, because despite the games in hand Manchester City would have, the gap would be big. It would be 9 points. But Arsenal just need to focus on this game, as Jorginho thought it was a throw into Arsenal, but it quite clearly was a throw into West Ham, just coming off Jorginho. We've got 1,400 people watching now. That's fantastic. Keep smashing that like button. What a game we have on our hands, as Ben Rama looked to cross it in, but it was shepherded out by Ben White. Odegaard lays it off well to Trossard. Good feet from him. Granit Xhaka out to Martinelli. Martinelli taking on Kufal. It's been a good battle that Kufal's done really well with in this game. It's really good defending again from the Czech international. He's dealt with Martinelli fantastically in this game, and you can't really say that for many defenders coming up against Martinelli this season. You are right, Kate. City can handle the pressure. They have shown, that they've done it. They've been there and done that. But I just think that it will put a bit of pressure on them. And I think, to be honest, it just gives neutrals hope as well. Because people that want Arsenal to win the league, and Arsenal fans, I guess, it just gives them hope when you look at that table and you see them 9 points clear. And we all know that Manchester City game will be, well, at the moment it's looking like the title decider. So that will be a game to watch out for, definitely. That will be the game to watch. As we approach the 70-minute mark, it still remains 2-2 as Declan Rice comes forward now. Tierney is able to clear, and it will be a throw-in for West Ham. Trossard will score the winner. Yeah, I think we have got a Trossard fan in the chat, based on his profile pic. And Trossard has been fantastic, to be fair. And it's a poor pass from Paqueta, and it's won back by Saka, and it's a 3-on-2 at the moment. Bukayo Saka now. So taking on his man and slips, and it's comfortably into Fabianski's hands. And that just sums it up for Bukayo Saka in this game. It was a poor pass that couldn't reach Paqueta's target, and it was a 3-on-2, and Saka looked to go alone, but just slipped at the vital moment. And he will be disappointed with that. And he'll probably still be thinking about that penalty miss, especially with West Ham equalising. And it looked like Arteta was on the pitch then, for a minute. Thought he was quite close to the players, but I think that might just be the camera angle, to be honest, but it looked quite funny, actually. Fabianski now with the ball for West Ham. Fabianski, of course, played for Arsenal in the Premier League, as well as Swansea, before joining the Hammers in 2018. Antonio now looks to shield his man, and it will be a handball conceded by Mikel Antonio. Gabriel now. Arsenal need to get that goal. Trossard plays it to Martinelli on this left-hand side. Martinelli, he's met his matching Kufal in this game, it's fair to say. Back to Jorginho. Jorginho plays a good pass into Odegaard. It's a good touch as well from the Norwegian. It's come to Leandro Trossard, fakes to shoot. Trossard plays it to Martinelli. Martinelli plays it back to Trossard. Trossard to Odegaard, back to Martinelli. Good short passes from Arsenal. It's a good pass from Odegaard. Tierney crosses, just evades Martinelli, and it's headed away by Zuma. But Arsenal regain possession. Jorginho. The game has definitely gone back in the control of Arsenal. Perhaps from Jorginho coming on. Gabriel now. Xhaka. Jorginho out to Ben White, who got the assist of that first goal for Arsenal. Saka, Odegaard, back to Odegaard. West Ham doing really well to stop anything going into their box. But Odegaard, that's brilliant feet, but it's good defending again from West Ham. They're defending really well and making it really difficult for Arsenal to penetrate through that defence. Kate Broom says, I want West Ham to win because I want the title race to be interesting. I don't want West Ham to win because I feel like Man City will probably win the league if that happens. Because I feel like Arsenal need to be a certain amount of points clear for it to be interesting. Because you just think Man City, I don't know, if they're on level points, I just worry because, you know, Man City are the favourites. If they're level on points, Man City are favourites. So, yeah. Come on, you Hammers, says BB Fane. Odegaard now. Xhaka looks for that pass into the West Ham box, but it goes out for a goal kick. Alexander Zinchenko's watching on. Of course, it would have been his 100th Premier League appearance if he'd have played today, but he was made unavailable due to injury. Fabianski now with the goal kick, clears. And Arsenal are amongst a long list of teams that have scored 11 goals after the 76-minute mark. So there is a bit of hope there for Arsenal fans. They've done it before. They've scored late goals fairly often this season. And they will be looking to do the same. As for West Ham, they'll just be looking to avoid conceding and potentially hit Arsenal on the counter and get that winner potentially. It looks to be played over to Ben White, but it's an overhit pass in the end by Trossard, I think it was. was a throw-in attempted to get to Saka, but it goes back out for a throw-in to Arsenal. Trossard now, a man full of confidence at the moment, but does lose out to Declan Rice, and it will be a throw-in to West Ham. Declan Rice does well. Declan Rice, a player that is likely to leave this season, or at the end of this season, sorry. But who knows what price tag it will be for. David Moyes has gone on record and said that it would be a British transfer record if the Englishman were to leave. And that is probably another talking point. How much do you guys in the chat think Declan Rice is worth? Rice to Man United, yeah, it's a possibility. I think Rice could go to most of the top 6 teams, as Bowen has a chance, and it's a really good, really important block from Tierney. It was an opening for us. It was an opening for West Ham that Arsenal deal with in the end, but it was a long throw, and Ben Rama touched it down really well and flicked it over the top of Gabriel to Jared Bowen, who took on Kieran Tierney. It's a really important block from the Scot. That could have been goal-bound. 120 million for Rice potentially. That's a lot, isn't it? It is a lot. But who knows in this day and age. As Cresswell whips it in, and it falls to Souček, but Holding does enough, but it comes back out to Cresswell. Benrahma whips it in. It's a dangerous ball, punched away by Ramsdale, and there is a head injury. And it's Bowen that's gone down. Ramsdale made a bit of a meal of that. I think it's safe to say. And we're seeing the cross whipped in. And Antonio was offside, but it was Bowen that tried to get his head on the ball. But Ramsdale did get something on it, but I think he got a bit of Bowen as well. Gabriel now, as we approach the 80-minute mark, time is of the essence, but I'm sure we are in for a thrilling end to what has been a thrilling game at the London Stadium. Aaron Ramsdale. Rob Holding looks for Saka, who was on running, but it was an overhit pass. And Kere does well to get past Trossard. Souček now. A loose pass from Souček, but West Ham do come away with the ball, and it's Antonio. He's led the line really well for West Ham. And it is won back by Arsenal. Trossard now. West Ham are doing really well to just close any space and really make it difficult for Arsenal to penetrate their defence. They're defending really well, Arsenal. West Ham, sorry. Odegaard now. Jorginho. Holding. Trossard. To Odegaard. Back to Trossard. A little bit of space. Trossard looked to find Martinelli, who was running in the box, but it was just slightly beyond the Brazilian. And it's gone into Fabianski's hands. And I'll just make you aware of the team news coming from the City ground. Obviously, Nottingham Forest are playing Manchester United at 4:30. As for Brennan Johnson, it's Keylor Navas who plays in goal with a back three of Felipe, McKenna and Niakate. The wing backs are Williams and Renan Lodi. as West Ham do make their way forward, and it's an important block by Rob Holding on the Benrahma shot. Benrahma whips it in again. It's Antonio! Hits the post! Big chance for West Ham! Hands in head. Head in hands, rather. From both Antonio and David Moyes. That was a big chance. Really good cross from Benrahma. I'm not sure if Antonio would have been offside, actually. But it doesn't matter because it just flicked off the post. And the chance goes begging. Just finishing off from the Nottingham Forest team news. Danilo and Freuler are the midfield two. And then it's Gibbs White in that attacking midfield position with Brennan Johnson and Awoniyi leading the line. I got there eventually. And as for Manchester United, it's David De Gea in goal. A back four of Diogo Dalot, Maguire, Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka. Obviously some absentees for Manchester United in defence, which Forest will be looking to take control, or be looking to exploit. And it's a warm welcome for Casemiro as he returns after his suspension, who plays alongside Bruno Fernandes and Savitzer. And then it's a front three of Jadon Sancho, Anthony Martial and Anthony. So that is kicking off in just under 50 minutes time. But back at the London Stadium, Arsenal are looking to get that golden winner. But West Ham are really holding firm and making it really difficult for Arsenal. Fair play to West Ham, they're defending very well. Martinelli. Arsenal just need a moment of magic. Can one of those players in that black shirt provide it? Holding. Gabriel, the clock is ticking. 83 minutes gone now. There's not been too many stoppages, so we won't have too many minutes of additional time. And West Ham win the ball back again. And it's a loose pass from Xhaka. Can't quite reach his target, and West Ham can come away with the ball. And the counter is really on for West Ham. Every time they win the ball back, they don't make the most of that opportunity, though. And it goes out for a throw-in to the Hammers. And there is going to be a couple of changes being made, and it's attacking changes. Kieran Tierney makes way, as well as, we're just going to have a look, as well as Gabriel Martinelli in replacement of Vieira and Reece Nelson. Reece Nelson, obviously, he's been quite efficient this season, that's for sure. It's 3 goals and 2 assists in 102 minutes for him, so that's a fantastic record. Arsenal fans will be hoping that he can do the same. And obviously we do remember that bullet against Bournemouth when it was 2-2 to win the game 3-2. So we will have to see. But you could say that's going to be the last throw of the dice pretty much for Arsenal, as they've made 4 changes. We have one more. Benrahma looked across it, but it didn't come to anything. Ramsdale collected. Odegaard now. White. West Ham are yet to make a substitution. David Moyes clearly happy with how things are going, and as he should be, because West Ham, they're defending really well. They've got that threat on the counter. Potentially some fresh legs could be needed at some point in the game. Odegaard picks it up now on the edge of the box. Plays it to Granit Xhaka, who I expect has gone to that left-back position. Holding now. Holding plays it to Trossard. Trossard, good feet. Trossard plays it to Reiss Nelson. Reiss Nelson on the ball for Arsenal. Whips it in. Saka with the header just goes wide. Or comfortably goes wide, I should say. And there will be a final. Finally, there will be substitutions made from West Ham in the 86th minute, and it's going to be Lucas Paqueta as one of those players to make way. And it's going to be Antonio that comes off as well, and Flynn Downs and Maxwell Cornet will be the replacements. It's been a good day's work from the two West Ham substitutes. And they will be looking to see the game out as best as possible, because this could be a massive point for West Ham as they strive to stay in the Premier League. Fabianski now with the goal kick. 87 minutes gone now at the London Stadium, the packed London Stadium. And it is a free kick to Arsenal, conceded by Thomas Souček. Gabriel. Excuse me. Jorginho. To Holding. And we've got 1,700 people watching. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. We've got 282 likes, which is brilliant. Let's see if we can maybe push that 230 or 300 like mark, sorry. That would be fantastic. And we've just hit 193,000 subscribers, so that's amazing. Thank you very much for those who have subscribed. It does really help the channel out. Ben White now to Granit Xhaka, onto Trossard, who flicks it back to Ben White, back to Trossard. Trossard cuts back onto Odegaard. Odegaard back to Xhaka. Arsenal just can't quite get it right at the moment. West Ham proving to be very tough to break down. And it looks like if there's going to be a goal in this game, it will be from Arsenal. It does look like West Ham are happy to get the point. But who knows? Rob Holding now plays a pass into Odegaard, who goes down, and it's a free kick. And there will be another substitution made by Arsenal. It's their final one, and it's going to be Eddie Nketiah who comes off for Martin Odegaard. That is the last throw of the dice for Arsenal. And after this game, we do have coverage of Nottingham Forest versus Manchester United. Another cracking game in prospect, so make sure to watch that. And there is another substitution being made by West Ham. It's Pablo Fornals who comes onto the pitch in replacement of Said Benrahma. And it's a decent position here for Arsenal, as there is 5 minutes of additional time at the end of this game at the London Stadium. It's going to be Vieira. Fabio Vieira whips it in, and it's headed onwards by Rob Holding, and it's comfortably saved in the end by Fabianski. Thanks for all the support, everyone. We've got 1,900 people watching. We've got 328 likes as well. That's brilliant. keep smashing that like button, keep subscribing as well. We're pushing for 200,000 subscribers. And also become a member if you'd like. And if it does stay like this, a point for Arsenal definitely hands the initiative, you could say, over to Manchester City. Arsenal would be 4 points clear, with Man City having a game in hand, so it's still in Arsenal's hands. But it just makes it that bit more difficult. It makes a slip up that much more. Like Arsenal can't really afford to slip up too many times because of Manchester City's dominance that they can show in the latter stages of seasons. And it's going to be a late corner for West Ham. Arsenal need to make sure they deal with this, because they can't afford to lose this game, that's for sure. It's come back out to Cresswell now. Cresswell looks to nutmeg Nketiah and does so, and no foul is given, and Arsenal can come away with it now. But West Ham worked really hard to win the ball back. It's been a brilliant performance from West Ham. Cornet plays it to Fornals. Fornals back to Cornet. Cornet drills it across. And it's come back out to Souček on this right-hand side, and the flag is up for offside. I'm not sure who it was for. It might have been an offside from a previous bit of play. But that clock is ticking now. Arsenal were 2-0 up, don't forget, in the first 10 minutes of this game. But West Ham came back with 2 goals to make it level again. And Arsenal are probing, looking for that winner as they so need. Trossard now to Ben White. Ben White dinks it in. It's a good ball and it's headed away. Reece Nelson now on this left-hand side. Reece Nelson plays it to Jorginho. Jorginho looked to play it into the box and it's comfortably collected by Fabianski. There's not much time left now. There's about 1.5 minutes left for either side to get a goal. And it looks like, well, it doesn't look like Arsenal are going to be able to get all 3 points from this one, unless there can be another bit of dramatic scenes this season for Arsenal. Jorginho to Holding. Gabriel. Arsenal need to get a move on now. Gabriel plays it to Fabio Vieira, but Declan Rice wins it back for West Ham, who look to break. Good ball over from Flynn Downs to Cornet, who looks to whip it in, and it's cleared by Rob Holding. Downs looked to keep it for West Ham, but does lose out in the end. Ben White now. 30 seconds left of the additional stoppage time. That Saka penalty could prove to be crucial in the title race if they draw this game. Xhaka now. Jorginho. On to Saka. Saka on this right-hand side. Plays it to Jorginho. Looks for Trossard, who takes it under control, and it's a good tackle in the end. And it's cleared. And that is the final whistle. It's 2 points dropped for Arsenal. Back-to-back draws in the Premier League. And it was a brilliant start for the Gunners, scoring 2 goals in the first 10 minutes of the game to put them 2-0 up. But then it was a goal just before half-time from West Ham that made it a bit more interesting from Arsenal's point of view. And then in the second half, West Ham came back and got their second goal. And Arsenal since then had pushed and pushed and pushed for that winner. But West Ham's defensive nous proved to be brilliant in the end. They were fantastic, West Ham, defensively. As for what that leaves in the table, Manchester City now go 4 points behind Arsenal. So Arsenal's point means that it is still in their hands, but it means Manchester City can, with a win, and that would be their game in hand. If they win that, then they'd be a point away from the Gunners, and they still have to play them as well. So only time will tell if this point was a crucial one, but at full time at the London Stadium, it's finished West Ham 2, Arsenal 2.
Thank you so much, Matthew. What a commentator, guys. Awesome commentary here coming from Matthew like that. Matthew Gifford. He was great on the commentary. Please show him love, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And we want to have him here on the platform more often here on Sami SK Football, guys. Yep, Matthew, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Really enjoyed that. Brilliant game.
Yeah, it was a great game. It was a great game. And you were on fire on the commentary as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Wow, disappointing draw here for Arsenal. Manchester City closing in on them, and I think like this Arsenal side, they are struggling to see off games. Their game management is kind of really poor recently.
You make a good point there because, they were 2-0 up against Liverpool as well and ended up drawing 2-2. So that's back-to-back 2-2 draws where they've been 2-0 up. So it is maybe a slight concern for Arsenal, and only time will tell, really. It's looking ominous for Manchester City. They're purring at the moment. They've won the last 9 games, I think it is.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, I think the Gunners. Saw the live chat was buzzing here. I'm seeing a lot of disappointment, but yeah, you always start the games brilliantly. They start on the front foot. They were on the gas, like they step on the gas, and it looked as if they're going to dismantle West Ham United here. And then the drop off. The drop off was massive. I can't understand. But anyway, whatever the case, it was brilliant commentary here from Matthew, and we always want to have him here on Sami SK Football. Join the channel as members if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel as well. And the next stream is going to be Manchester United take on Nottingham Forest, guys, and that is going to be an interesting one as well. Manchester United, what do you think?
Well, I think in terms of Nottingham Forest, it's become a bigger game because they've only picked up 1 point out of their last 6 points, and those were the 2 games against the teams around them. So this game's become mainly almost a must-win, I feel, for Nottingham Forest, because you look at the games coming up, they need to take advantage of their home fixtures, and obviously they are at home today against Manchester United. Man United are missing some key players. Obviously, Casemiro is coming back.
Excuse me, Matthew. We have a hitter. We have a hitter on the live chat. In the live chat, Kate. Oh, one of the moderators deleted the message. One guy said, Stephen Law said, totally biased commentary, absolutely crap. That's a hitter. Someone is sitting on
Not
you.
Not biased at all.
All right.
I don't support anyone anyway.
That's a minority. It's insignificant.
Yeah.
Right? Insignificant. A lot of us, we love you here. A lot of, in fact, the commentary was awesome. I don't know where the hate is coming from. Maybe he's an Arsenal fan.
maybe. Yeah. Let him hate.
And Grangelo, thank you for deleting that message. Thank you for moderating the chat. Kate Broom, you guys were awesome in the live chat there, moderating the chat there. I have some awesome moderators here, and I'm happy. Anyway, when we're talking, I just glanced at the live chat and I saw that live message coming in. I was like, what is happening here? Why are you saying we are biased here with the commentary? We called the game full-time results. It's 2-2. What is bias there?
Yeah, and I don't support anyone either. So I can't. Yeah. But let them hate.
Quite funny. But anyway, guys, let's head over to the next one. Manchester United is taking on Nottingham Forest. Was a brilliant commentary here from Matthew Gifford, and we hope to have him here. Are you on the schedule for this weekend? for this week on Some ESK Football?
I'll have a look.
All right.
I'll definitely look.
Anyway, I
Yeah.
myself I have to check this the